it's Roslyn with Black Enterprise, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with author, business coach, tech founder, and star of The Real Housewives of New York City, Miss Bershan Shaw. How are you?
Hello. Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Of
Thank you for taking the time.
No, of course. I am a fan of the show. I'm not gonna lie. I was one of the many that only watched last season because we got some representation going. But
Yeah.
what have you been up to since filming?
Oh God, what have I been up to after filming?
After filming, yes.
Oh gosh, I got to tell you, I am launching a mental health app called You Are a Warrior. So you spell it, you guys, the letter U, the letter R, the letter A, warrior, WARRIOR.com. Please go join it, www.yourawarrior.com. During the time, it's just the pandemic kept going. It just
Right.
keeps on going and going. I mean,
Yeah.
it's people are depressed. People don't know how to handle it.
Mhm.
People are sad. And I wanted to do a give back. I wanted to hold a community and a space where we can get help and get support.
Yes, I love it. And what inspired the exact spelling, with you spelling it like you are? Why did
Yeah.
you choose that?
Yeah. So interesting enough, how this was birthed. In the chemo room, I'm a stage 4 breast cancer thriver, stage 4. Doctors gave me 3 months to live. I mean, cancer was all over my body. And I just would say, I'm going to chemo. I'm going to dress up. I'm going to wear my pumps, my fur coat, my lipstick, get my hair together. Like I didn't want to represent and show up in a sweatsuit with a scarf on, being depressed. I'm like, no, you are what you think, you are how you look, and you are what you believe. So I
Mhm.
didn't believe I was going to die. So I wasn't going to show up like that. And funny enough, my doctor said, I want you to be the speaker, the keynote speaker for the Johns Hopkins wing on oncology. I was like, me? No. And she said, you. And literally, I mean, to cut it short, I did a speech. It was like 1,000 people in this BJ's. And I stood up and I said, I shouldn't be here today. I should not be here, but I am. I am surviving, but I'm not only surviving, I'm thriving. And you can too, whatever you're saying. Cancer is a diagnosis, not my prognosis. So, what is your cancer that's holding you back from your greatness?
Mhm.
And like everyone's just started chanting, oh my God, you're so amazing. Because they gave me 3 months and it was 2 years. And this woman stood up and said, you are a warrior. You are a warrior. And I was
Woo.
like, I'm a warrior. And that's how it birthed.
That's powerful. Just gave me chills. I do remember you, sharing a bit of your cancer survival story on the show. And where was that? Was that already in you? Where did that come from? Where did that motivation, that determination, that mindset come from? Because that's something that a lot of people have to learn. Where did
Yeah,
you come from?
that's a good question. But let me tell you, when you hear that you're going to die, I mean, when you hear that you're going to die, that cancer has taken over your body and you see your body lit up with little cells all over, you either get busy living or get busy dying. It's a choice. That moment is a choice, and it's a choice to live or die. And I think I was always a go-getter. I was always someone who took action. But let me tell you, that moment I was like, God, if you keep me alive. I went into the hallway and said, if you keep me alive, I will motivate women and men all over the world. And I'm going to do it by speaking and telling them that they can do whatever they believe. And from that day, I always said that I wanted to do an app because I knew that my mental health was going spiraling down in the chemo room because people were depressed and you get anxiety and loneliness and sadness. And I was like, I'm not going to die. And I knew I wanted to build something that was going to change America, to build something amazing, to make history as a Black woman. I just didn't know when. And when the pandemic hit, I said, it's now.
Mhm.
I,
So you were already kind of just planning it prior to the pandemic, and then you went on mute.
oh, sorry.
So you were already planning it prior to the pandemic and already had it. Okay.
Yep. I was planning it prior to the pandemic. I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to do something. But then the pandemic hit. My next door neighbor jumped off the building. I saw him the night before. You know how eerie that is to see the person jump off the night before? And I spoke to him. And you think people are okay when they're not. I mean, you think people are smiling and because they have a car and a nice house and live in a penthouse, they're okay. Then my nephew came to me and was like, I'm really dealing with depression and I'm embarrassed. A Black man. He's like, I don't know what to do. And then I knew someone who died of COVID, a Black man. I'm like, oh, we need help because we have shame, we have embarrassment, and we have issues that we don't want to talk about. And I wanted to launch something and remove the stigma.
It's a fact. We just heard of the young lady who won Miss USA, took her life, jumped off the building. And like you say, I mean, it runs in my family. I have a brother that is diagnosed bipolar schizophrenic. And he even struggles with admitting, just coming to terms with that. And just also seeing how the public perception of it with him as a Black man is just like, they're not on your side. So it's like, the family has to lean in. So with this app, it's for everyone, but do you have the Black community in mind because of what are
so good point. I love that you say that. Yes. So I wanted to really change and disrupt this industry. Black CEO tech founder. I have Black developers, right? I have Black investors who started with me, men and women. Like I wanted us to invest because Master P said something that was so brilliant. He said, here you are, we're all trying to make white people billionaires. What about making Black women, Black men billionaires and millionaires? So, and I have a diverse team. Now, the reason I was like, I didn't want it just for Blacks because my oncologist was white. My psychiatrist is white. So I had people, and this isn't a racist thing. This is like, I want to help all, but I have a section that's going to be for Black mental health and Black men. I have warrior stories. I'm coming out with the Black voice, with Black men sharing their stories. I have stories that men say, I was molested as a little kid. You know how hard that is? I'm tearing up now. Or a story that someone murdered my 3-year-old son and murdered my baby's mother and her brother.
Yeah.
I have something to say. I was in jail and I got, taken.
Right.
These are real stories that's on the app. These are real things. And my brother was bipolar and schizophrenic. So this is near and dear to me because we don't have an outlet.
No.
We don't have an outlet. We want to make it seem like, and that's what I don't want this to be, like on the gram where we're like showing a house and showing that we got live in a Rolls or have a Rolls Royce or we can travel. No, where's the real? Where is the real help we're getting? We're not getting it. And that's the shame. And I put my own money, honey. I put $1 million of my savings account, all of my savings. I mean, thank God I got a little bit more, but into this app because my brother was suffering. He's no longer here. My aunt was suffering. She's no longer here. They are no longer here. And I couldn't afford to see, and I'm crying for my brother and my mother. And
I know.
I couldn't afford to see it anymore.
Yeah.
So I had to spread the word. That's it.
I'm fighting back tears myself. It's generations and generations of trauma. They even say when a woman is pregnant, she has to be mindful of what she's feeling, those thoughts and emotions, because they're carrying on. It can carry on through the child. So it's like, if you're talking about Black people, imagine what's been carried on for the last 200
years.
Okay, 400.
Think about all the things that we've been through.
Right.
Rape, ancestry. I mean, like abuse, beatings, slavery. I mean, girl, on and on and on and on. I mean, we go on and it's carried on and carried on. And we have to be strong because, in the Black family is don't tell nobody your business. Shut up. Don't you tell nobody what's going on. I coach thousands of men and women. I coached a Black woman, and this breaks my heart, who told me, so heartbreaking, that she was raped by her uncle. Her mother was raped by the same uncle, and the grandmother was raped by the same uncle. And this uncle was like 98 years old and he just passed away. She said, and none of them said anything. None of them. Because this was in the family.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
it is what it is. This was your family.
Yeah.
So don't you go telling something on us, because you shut up and you deal with it.
Right. And it's not like other families and other cultures don't go through these things. And that's why I love that you have this app and there's so many outlets for everyone that's struggling. But like you said, and you're a Black woman, you're still going to represent a community that's been voiceless in this area.
Oh, for sure. We're going to have a whole thing on Black mental health on there. Yeah,
I'm
for
excited.
sure. I'm a Black woman who has a Black mother and father, who my father marched Selma. My father was at Washington, D.C. standing. My father grew up in Gilbert, Louisiana, 8 brothers and sisters in a 2-bedroom house. 2-bedroom. Get in where you fit in, sleep where you got to. That's your room. Get up and go to school.
Right.
Pick
It's
cotton.
it's amazing hearing. I'm so happy to speak with you and learn more about your story. It's unfortunate we didn't get to really know you. I was one of the people. I was also a part of forums of fans who we were like, why wasn't she the full time? You know, like what, you know, because we'll get into that, because you mentioned with your app breaking into this tech space for mental health as a Black woman with Making History. You also made history as one of the first Black housewives on The Real Housewives of New York. That was one franchise I kind of never really checked for, because when I did watch it, I didn't relate to it one bit. So the first time I really tuned in was because you were on there and Eboni was on there. But you brought to me and a lot of viewers, you brought the dynamic that we were looking for. And now as I'm getting to know you, I'm like, yo, she had so much good,
Yeah.
you know, but let's
You know
talk
what
about
it
that.
is? Let me tell you what it is. Let me, because I did a podcast earlier. He said, you know what you are? You're in your face. You are in someone's face with passion. Not saying, I'm not going to say, oh, she's not passionate, but Bershan, you're big, you're bold, you're in, you stand for it. And not to say, you know what I mean? And like he said this, not he's like, she is, you know, think about how she's the light skin, you know what I mean? That type. And you're not. You know, she's the light skinned girl that, and you're big, you're bold. No one knew, like they cut and tried to say that I was saying, oh, people, come on, girl. I didn't want to even respond to that in the media, because I didn't want to keep carrying on the BS.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to keep the fake story going. So I was like, you know what it is? Like, people talking about, girl, are you kidding me? I take care of 10 boys in LA right now that I mentor and been doing it for 3 years, and they're all in college. I work for a homeless shelter in New York City right now that I go to every Monday, and it's Oprah's Club. We call it Oprah Coffee Club. I don't have to prove and say I'm Black. Okay. I'm not here having to have a flag saying I'm Black, girl. No, I know who I am. I'm confident. My father taught me everything. I think, and he said it, and it was a white man said it. He said, honestly, she's safe because light skin is safe.
Yes. I also felt like, I mean, I'm not really sure who are the gatekeepers and who are making the decisions, but from as a Black woman and even just somebody who just knows, I just felt like there wasn't really a Black person in that decision making. And when they were looking at who, because they were making this decision, right? We need to add some diversity. Eboni, we're like, oh, she works. Like you said, she's light skinned. Oh, she talked about politics. Like, but it's like, if you really kind of looked at her resume, I had already, I had met her before in New York. I watched her on the Revolt show. There was nothing about her that screamed housewife to me, just nothing, like nothing. And then on this show, she really was like a Black sheep. And I never felt like you were saying to her, oh, it doesn't need to be about race. But girl, you invited them to a dinner and you're making everybody act out Black characters. It was like a bit forceful in a way. And it wasn't.
Forceful. It seemed contrived.
Yes.
It seemed contrived.
Yes.
Like your sister, it seemed contrived. It's like, Oh, every minute, let's talk about that. Every minute. And you don't even do that. Girl, you come on, you hang with white, you ain't every minute. Okay, are you gonna be Sojourner Truth? And you're gonna be Harriet Tubman? I mean, come on. It just got
It
to
was
be,
a bit.
it was contrived.
Did you and Eboni ever have any conversations out off camera, like as Black
Oh,
women
and
about?
it's a shame because I did come in late for business, like, I gotta take care of my business. And it's a shame because the other women sort of open arms with me more than Eboni. They did. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I gotta call a spade a
Yeah,
spade.
just say what it is. Say what
I
it
mean,
is.
look, I'm not here. I don't need, brownie points. It's
It
like
was visible. It was visible on the show. So
it was visible. And when you look at it, and she was like, girl, you on your own. And I'm like, it just like all my friends and the fans and the outpour of love, they were like, I mean, they went for it. And I'm not, I'm not for all this badgering online, social media. That is not my
yeah,
jam. But it was just like, they're like, here you are talking Black power and talking Black this, and it's a Black girl on the show. And you didn't say, come on, sis, let me help you. Come on, let's do this together. Come on, we're in it. Come on. Like, she didn't.
right. It wasn't visible. And I at one point, I'll defend at the end of the day, right, what's right and what's wrong, right? So there was just instances where, with her dynamic with Ramona, I was like, okay, yeah, like Ramona's doing the most, but overall, when the whole season was said and done, it was just like, what happened, Eboni? Like, you were given this opportunity and it fell completely flat. And then when the reunion got canceled, it does come off as like, some involvement. But now we're hearing of, and I wanted to ask you, because I don't know what you can say, but what can you say in regards to why the reunion was canceled? Was it over issues with racism? Was it the pandemic?
I mean, here's the thing. I don't like to, because I'm not a girl who, I went to journalism school, right? So I'm not going, let me tell you this story real quick. Somebody said, my next door neighbor, it hurt me to my core, came to my house and said, I was like 8 years old, I stole her ring. I stole her wedding ring. And I knew I didn't. I mean, I wasn't a thief. Like, I'm the girl scared to steal. I just am. Like, I do a lot of stuff with that because my father would be like, I'm going to punish you. He was the nicest dad, but he was like, don't you dare steal, because nobody wants a thief. If you're a thief, you can never get a job. Nobody want to be around. So she came to my dad's house and said it. And I was in tears. And my parents were like, Bershan, did you do it? I was like, I promise you, like, I went off like crazy. And so my father was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to write a check because you were in the room with her kid and her kid didn't steal it and all this stuff. Damn. A week later, she comes back and says, I'm so sorry. I found the ring. It was in between the mattress. So that, I remember that to the core. You understand? To my core. Like at 8 years old, you remember something traumatic like that because that was traumatic. You said I was a thief. Right. And that goes with you forever. So when people say Ramona and Eboni were friends on the show. They were talking on the show. You saw it. You saw them. Yeah, they got into a little banter, but they were hugging on the bus, talking, friendship. Then all of a sudden, I'm hearing this racism stuff. And so, like I said about Ramona, I don't know if it's racism. I feel entitled. There's a difference. White privilege, there's a difference. White privilege is I deserve it. Mm-hmm. I stand in it. Racism is the hate and all of that stuff. Right. I don't know. It's like, can you say, I would have to do more because she didn't show it to me or Eboni. Right. Like you said, you're going to call it how you see it. I call things how I see it. Mm-hmm. Now, did I hear and it became unfounded. Shad Media, Bravo, all unfounded, right? So I'm not going to go around saying Ramona's a racist. Ramona's a racist when she didn't show racism to me or Eboni.
So necessarily no one, what they're saying that she allegedly said outside of Eboni, nobody really heard her say that?
I didn't hear her say that. Nobody I know heard her say that. I mean, and it came unfounded. Like, I'm not one who's trying to get social media love and trying to get the negative. You know, understand what I mean?
Right.
That's not my jam. I don't throw things around. Like, if I hear something and it was right here, I'm going to say it because I don't bite my tongue for anybody. And I told Ramona,
you showed us that.
Yeah, I said, Ramona, I didn't go on TV and say you're not a racist because you haven't done anything racism to me. And I didn't see you do it to anybody else. So I don't need brownie points like I'm trying to help you. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm not going to throw somebody in jail when I didn't see them rob a bank.
Exactly. So from what you're gathering, right now, there's no word on if the show will come back. Do you think the show will come back?
I think the show will definitely come back. I think, look, you guys are the audience. They want to hear from us. They don't hear from Black women. They don't hear from you guys. I know this from other shows. It's like we have to come together and put something together because Black women don't. White women will hashtag RHONY and say, I want this person. You know how many times white people be like, oh, I want Bershan full time. I love her. But Black women don't do it. We don't tweet.
I did.
Oh, yeah. Me. But do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. But also at the same time, the Black women aren't watching RHONY.
I got it. But if you want to see us, baby, if you want to see us in TV more, tweet. You guys got to go and say, like, if you're informed and you got fan groups, tweet and say, hey, y'all, let me tell you who's real. Hashtag RHONY, hashtag Bravo TV. Let me tell you what we like. They don't know what you like.
That's a fact. Because if the role was reversed and had it been you, you as full time, I think a lot more Black women would have been tuned in. I think the dynamic would have been completely different. I think the ratings would have went up and we wouldn't even have the issues that we would have today. I was more so looking forward to just like seeing you with Luann, and because you and Luann's personalities, that's a whole key. And then that whole back and forth you got into with Sonia was just hilarious. It was just, it was funny.
But that's what I'm saying. But see, I'm telling you, executives don't know that. You need to do that whole tweet. Right. Just tweet and say, and get your group to tweet because someone told me, so went to a whole TV network about a year and a half ago. And he said, let me tell you how we never know how to cast Black women because we never get information from them. They never get information from you guys. We are a whole nation. We are strong. We are powerful. We are beautiful. We have rights. We want people to hear us, but they don't know.
I just find that so baffling because we are so vocal. So it's like, what are they looking? Where are they going to find?
You're not that vocal. You're vocal like us, like to your girls in the room. I'm sure y'all at a table in New York and LA and DC, y'all talking. I'm sure you'll stand up to anyone, but how will an executive producer hear that? How will Andy Cohen hear your words? How?
I would say you're right when it comes to certain franchises. Like what it was is that I'm not gonna lie. Prior to last season, I only watched Atlanta and Potomac. And then I caught up with New Jersey because they're a whole hot mess in the best way. And so I watched season 1 of RHONY and I said, I couldn't even get to season 2 because it was so white privileged. I could not.
So then that's what, see, that's what I'm saying. See, now this is a Zoom. Is this going to be transmitted to digital or?
It's going to go on our website, probably on Fox Soul.
Yeah, but see, but they need to hear that.
And I tweet, and I'm heavy on Reddit, and on Reddit, that's where our community is, the Housewives community. And it's a lot of Black women in there. And it's very diverse, and we all were rooting for you. We just didn't understand. Like at first, we were all just kind of wondering, but then by episode like 5, especially when you came in, it was like, hold up now. What's happening on? You know, like she's just messing up the whole vibe now. We get it. It's 2020. Black Lives Matter election, but everything you talk about, and then also when it came to like her personal life, there was nothing there. You know, she had broke up with her fiance. She didn't really share anything, and it's like, hello, Real Housewives here. Like we talk about life and kids and that
and everything.
You know, with her, you weren't going to get that because she's just straight business racism.
They're not going to tell you anything panel,
Yeah, right. Like, right. Motivational, maybe like a race talk, microaggressions. She taught us some terms, but
she taught us stuff. Right. There it
so
is.
if and when we know the show's gonna come back, because it's like I think like they
It's
just
gonna
brought
come
back
back,
Miami.
but I want them to hear your voice.
I will. I'm gonna make, you're motivating me, and I'm gonna make sure when I disseminate this interview, that is in the messaging, that more people in general, but definitely more Black viewers need to make our voices heard when it comes to the other franchises, with demanding the diversity and saying who we would like on the show.
Yeah, and call them out. If it's hashtag RHONY, hashtag RHOBH or whatever, hashtag whatever, or if it's another thing, Netflix hashtag, let them know, hashtag whatever, say the names, call them, let them know, get the community, start a movement. Let me tell you, I'm so passionate because I see white girls doing this all the time, and we are so vocal. We don't do it. Why not? Why are we not doing it? Why are we not standing up? You're vocal. You're beautiful. First of all, makeup is bleak. Makeup bleak. I was like, oh, but you know what? Start that community. First of all, offline, I need to know how to do Reddit, because I want to do a whole mental health thing on Reddit. Maybe you can help me do it.
Oh yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk for sure. Because Reddit, I started getting into Reddit because I write about reality television. So I started going to Reddit and finding threads, and I'm like, oh, this is where it's at. And I love Reddit. I'm on Reddit every single day. Just finding.
I want to get it because I want. You see how I'm crying on the podcast. I want us to talk about mental health. And this app, You Are a Warrior, is no bullying, no trolling, no negativity. You get off. Like, I know we can go on Instagram and we can get battered, bullied, and we can say all this stuff, but where's a place where we can really talk, where your brother can say, you know what, I'm a Black man. I do feel a little crazy. I feel embarrassed. People don't want to really story. People don't, and you're the sister, so you probably felt a little bit embarrassed for him sometimes.
Yeah. That's actually really good. That would be a great room to start. So it's like with Reddit, you just start a room and people join the room because you're sharing content. People join the room. We all share content, and it's this community. So if it's just like You're a Warrior, mental health, or Black mental health, that would be amazing. That would be such a great group, because we do need to have these conversations. And when I open up to Black people about stuff with my brother, then they open up and they're like, yeah, I have, and it's like, yo, we all have someone.
We will totally all open up if you open up, but we got to allow the space. So we got to allow the space. Look, I'm an open book. And so I love when people were saying, oh yeah, she ain't. I'm like, girl, I'm not going to sit here and have to tell y'all who Bershan Shaw is. I got a father, let me tell you, who has been on the steps, who has been tear gassed, who has marched, who went to Tuskegee, I was up there standing with him in DC in the 1970s fighting. So I don't need to say it every day on my shirt. I'm Black and I'm proud. I'm Black and I'm proud because I put action to play. I help people. I help young girls. I'm in the technology business. I'm starting a nonprofit, Bernice Foundation. I have it. STEM girls in lower incomes, helping them get into technology. I want to disrupt this industry. I got Black developers. I got a Black team. I do that now. I put $1 million in. So I don't need anybody to tell me who I am or how I am. I walk it like I talk it.
You better talk that talk, Bershan. Yes. I would have loved, oh my goodness. That is just powerful. And this is exactly what everybody needs to see. Not even just, Black viewers, like everybody needs to see your story. They needed to see those throwback pictures with you, with your father on those civil rights marches. They totally missed the mark. It's unfortunate, but we do need to be more vocal about that, because Jenny got fired from Salt Lake City over her post. What did you think about that? Because they're saying that there's a criticism that Meghan McCain said Jenny was fired for being Republican.
Look, I think her posts were disgusting. Like, I mean, everybody needs to stop this. Like, you can be Republican or Democrat, but let's call somebody out when they do something disgusting, right? She's an Asian woman. If we made a mock of someone Asian, you know what I mean? It would go through viral. And if we made a mock of them, that would to laugh about this, like, I believe in calling people out. I believe in not giving them a pass. I'm not giving anybody a pass. No, because it is time to wake up. So that She wrote the post. Now she's saying her assistant did all this stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't believe all that. Okay, girl, I got it. Now it like one post, but it was like 9 or 10 posts. So I mean,
all those posts now.
yeah, all those posts, girl. Okay, I mean, and I'm not sure you're letting your assistant do,
On
you know,
Facebook.
on Facebook. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
I know, girl.
You're right. You're really busy over there. You're the one with a team. And so you would know firsthand if you're letting your assistant post all of that stuff for you.
Post stuff like that. No, post something that's like, oh, smile, have a great day, feel good Fridays. Here's something that's general, but no, posting opinions and all, no.
And then at what point would you realize your assistant is posting that and then to choose to take it down? But no, you didn't. So
you didn't. So you see your post. So, right. Okay. So let's just go with, honey, I let the assistant, let's go with that. Let the assistant post it for me. Then you saw it. And now if you don't agree with it, you keep it up now. Okay.
Okay. That's okay. Funny. Well, before I want you go, I want you to tell us also, so you got You're a Warrior app.
And hold on. Let me tell everybody to go sign up, girl.
Go ahead.
www.urawarrior.com. So URAWARRIOR.com. Go sign up now. It launches in May because I wanted it to launch in Mental Health Month because it really means a lot. Like, we got to remove this stigma. We have to remove the shame. We have to stop being afraid to talk about it. We got to tell you how we feel. I was very embarrassed for my brother and my mother. I was very embarrassed. I grew up very embarrassed, not really knowing how to deal with it. A little bit of shame, put it to the side. But now I step into it. I step into my power. Like, nobody can hold me back. I'm a warrior, not a worrier, a warrior.
I love it. And is that also going into the Unstoppable Warrior Woman book?
Okay. Yeah. So the Unstoppable Warrior Woman book, you guys go get it. It's on Amazon. It's in bookstores. It's stories of hope. Unstoppable Warrior Woman, WOMAN, because I wanted to share every woman's story, because we all have a story and we don't need to be come together. We are individuals and we are different. You see, like, everyone thought Eboni and I would jive and get along, and see, isn't that crazy? It's unfortunate because I wanted to speak to her. I wanted to make a connection with her, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So we're all individuals. Like, and then you guys go follow Buckle Up with Bershan, my
your podcast. Yes. Also, you have the Shaw and Shaw design. You're an interior designer, super plush stuff. I would have loved to see that because I'm so into interior design. Do you have plans of maybe like launching into that? That's always a big thing.
Oh yeah, girl. Let me tell you, during the pandemic, Shaw Design and took off, honey. I got Atlanta. I'm designing in Bahamas this weekend. I'm going to LA, Chicago. Go to www.Shaw Design, SHAWAND Shaw Design, .com. It's taking off, girl. During the pandemic, I turned this business to a 7-figure business.
Girl, I need to get more like you. Your energy. I'm just taking your energy, rub it off on me.
Come on, let's do it, girl. 2022.
And yes, 2022. So what's next for Bershan? You're a Warrior app.
You're a Warrior app. I'm a motivational speaker and a business coach. So I do that anyway. Taking off. I want to disrupt the industry, get more people into technology, get brown and black people into coding, get brown and black people and women into technology, learning about it, growing and investing. That's what I want to do.
All right. And you put the battery in my back. I'm going to get out here, start campaigning. We need Bershan on RHONY. They missed the mark. We are going to fix that.
I love it.
I'm so happy I really got to speak to you because it just opened my perspective on everything, and you're a star.
Thank you.
You're a star.
Thank you. And you know what we got to do? Push the elevator down for somebody else. Mm-hmm. Push the elevator down. Help somebody else get ahead. Support somebody. Campaign for somebody. Motivate somebody. Show support for someone. That's what we have to start doing. Let our voices be heard. Make a movement. Whatever you want to do, make a movement. My movement is disrupting technology. Your movement, make a movement. You're a beautiful sister. You're great. Like, I love your energy. Let's do that. Let's change something in 2022.
I'm here for it. I'm claiming it too, in Jesus' name. Thank you so much, Bershan. You are such a light out here. We need more light in this
Oh,
darkness.